Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, first one of 2019 in like 3 weeks or whatever. Not yeah, I took a break. I feel kind of refreshed and ready to make videos again, and so I think I really needed it. So thank you guys for being patient. And I wanted to kick off the year of 2019 by talking about the year of 2018. So we're doing a top 10 list of leaders released in that year. These aren't leaders that were top in 2018, but strictly released in 2018, so no Android 17, 18 or anything like that. So a couple of other caveats. I'm not going to add SS3 or Mecha Frieza. Everyone knows they're good already, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. This is a biased list, so don't be like, oh, Eggman's opinions are wrong. Like, you can't be wrong in opinions, right? And then lastly, I'm trying to, the way I'm doing this, I'm trying to look at the strength of the leader itself purely, not the deck that it's popular to run in or popular meta types or archetypes that the leaders run in, but just the strength of the leader itself. So I want to go into that. And yeah, that's it for me, and let's get this list started. Number 10. All right, I told you guys this list is biased, right? All right, here's one of my favorite leaders of this year, and it actually was really good until it kind of got like pseudo nerfed by how the ruling changes worked. But yeah, this is the Draft Box Vegeta. It is a warrior of Universe 7, and when this card attacks a leader card, if you have Universe 7 in your energy area, draw one card, and it gets plus 5k power for duration of the turn. So already that's really powerful. And then on your Awaken, you can, when your life is 4 or less, you may choose up to 2 of your energy, switch to an active mode, and flip this card over. And on the other side, is during your turn, if you have 3 or more energy of Universe 7 in your energy area, you get plus 5k. And then when this card attacks, draw 1 card. You may choose up to 1 of your energy, add it to your hand. If you choose to add an energy to your hand, choose up to 1 card in your hand and add it to your energy. So, yeah, really good. It can do some untapping. It can also just do some fun, like, energy recursion kind of things. Just really, really solid leader. I think, to be honest, if Storm kind of gets the axe next set, I can see this card being really good in that, just because it has lots of versatility. It has like a lot of card draw. Being a 15k draw one on the front side is really powerful, and yeah, you're just able to generate a lot of kind of energy advantage, and kind of, I think that's just really good. So that's why I'm putting Explosive Power Vegeta at number 10. It's kind of faded away a little bit just because they changed how this worked with Force Ejection Mass Saiyan, and I think there are some kind of better generic blue leaders for mostly the Storm archetype. This was experimented with Storm at the beginning, and I felt like it was really good, especially since you could run some yellow cards like Master Roshi was really good because it was also a Universe 7 card, so that's just awesome, and stuff like that. So here's number 10. Number 9. Alright, we've got the Star Deck Mass Saiyan. This was the first black leader that we got, probably, if I remember correctly. It came from the Star Deck, and this, I have to say, like, in general, the Star Deck leaders from this game are really powerful a lot of time. Like, Star Decks are really good investments in this game, and Mass Saiyan is definitely one of the best ones. So what this card does is, Actions Main plays the top 3 cards from your deck to drop area. If you get a place black card, this gains critical, and then if you get any non-black card, you get plus 5k for duration of the turn. And when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 2 cards, flip it over. And then on the opposite side, once per turn, place the top 3 cards in your deck to your drop area. If you place black card in the drop area, it gains critical. And then any other color, again, plus 5k for duration of the turn. And then when you draw attack, draw 1 card. This card was really good, and it kind of followed the footsteps of the set 1 Vegeta, just giving itself critical. Critical is super powerful, especially by this time. We had the double strike Champa, and I guess we always had it, but just being able to combo that to do 25k crit double strike for 1 energy is really powerful, and it just lent to a lot of card advantage. And then especially since you're also setting up your drop area for Overrealm, you can just get some more pressure there. And just really good, especially with the set 3 Mira that came out that made your opponent drop a card when you played it. Just kind of one of the first, or just a continuation of just a really big aggro, critical hand advantage kind of deck. So this is really good, and it still sees a lot of play, especially since we got the Kai that also gives double strike. So having 8 targets for that is really good, and additionally the Trunks that the 1-drop GT trunks that also gives it crit and Kaba. Just there's a lot of pressure this deck can give out, and yeah, it's a pretty solid deck that I think it's been kind of probably on the back burner for the entirety of the year, but I think this leader is really good. So number 8. All right, we have next the Draft Box Vegeta Baby Leader. This card is, I think this card is really cool, and I think it's just like the there have been kind of 3 Machine Mutants like baby GT leaders, and I think this is the best one of all of them. So when this card attacks a leader, draw 1 card. Once per turn, choose 1 card in your life and add to your hand. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards. It loses minus 5k power for duration of the turn. So that's really good. It has, not only do you self-awaken, but you also can destroy any annoying 5k your opponent has, which is really common kind of throughout the formats. It's, you know, a lot of turn 1 plays is just play a card to, you know, draw a card or stuff like that. And so I think that's always relevant. And on the backside, when this card attacks, draw 1 card. Choose 1 of your active main. Once per turn, choose 1 of your battle cards. It loses negative 15 power for duration of the turn, 15k power for duration of the turn. If you do so, choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards and you lose minus 10k for duration of the turn. So that's really good too. Just really good removal. I think this card does just a lot of good for the GT archetype, like the baby GT archetype in general, paired with some other negative 10k power cards and stuff like that. It can be really good. And yeah, and it's the fact it's a Saiyan as well is really good. So you can do Unending Awakening. This just has a lot of synergy, and I think it is the best leader for the archetype. So and I think they did the release schedule for these GT leaders right. So they had Dr. Mew, which is alright, and then they had the first baby, and then this one's, I think, is definitely the best of them. And yeah, it just really furthers the archetype. Number 7. We've got Pan. Pan is one of the kind of just the backbones of this this year, right? Pan's always been considered, and she's always just been a really good kind of control league anti-meta leader. And yeah, so what it does is when you play a battle card, choose that card. It gains plus 5k power for the duration of the turn, and then if its power is 20k or more, draw 1 card. And then when your life is at 4 or less, choose up to 2 energy, switch an action and flip this card over. And then the backside's the same thing, and except for when this card attacks, draw 1 card. So this card's really solid. You can get a lot of card advantage by playing the 1 combo cost Vegeta, the double shot Vegeta. So you get a draw a card and get that out for 1 energy, which is really powerful. This was one of the first untapped 2 leaders that we had, and when the untapped 2 leaders first came out, a lot of people were like, man, this is really trash. I'd rather draw 2 cards. But just by the amount of advantage that Pan can generate by herself, just the fact that you can get her effect on your opponent's turn, which is really powerful. So with that Vegeta, but also like Topo can add to that as well. And yeah, just very powerful. Gets a lot of advantage and kind of just stalls and wins, right? And this is a red Saiyan too, so you can have Unending Awakening. And yeah, a lot of chain attack Zeno builds have been using this Pan. So I think it's Pan's just a really good leader, really solid, and I think she'll continue to see play into next year. Number 6. We've got Super 17. I feel like we've been waiting for this card as like a card like this since the untapped 2 leaders came out. We didn't get an untapped 2 green android leader for most of the year, right? We got him in November, but I think he's really good, and I think he's worth the wait. So Auto Burst 2, when this card attacks, you draw 1 card, which is great. It's not even attacking a leader, so that's fine. And then Awakening, when your life is at 4 or less, you can untap 2. And on the other side, Auto Sparking 5, when this card attacks, draw 1 card, and this game is critical for duration of the turn. And then active main, if your opponent has 10 or more cards in your hand, in their hand, place until they have 9. Ooh, I've literally never seen that resolve, but maybe someone has and feels good about it. But yeah, this card is really good. Just in general, just like the burst 2 draw, I think is powerful. This has some synergy with the Super 17 kind of chain anyways, because you just need the cards in the drop area. But just an untapped 2 green android is just awesome. There have been we've been kind of have mixtures of those throughout this year, but this is definitely, I think, the best form of all those effects. To be honest, the Awakened side is a little lackluster. It's just pretty much critical. The other thing isn't, but I think that the amount of synergy you can get with just the green archetypes is worth it. But that's why it's kind of all the way up here on number 6, just because by itself it's okay, but I think it just enables so much for different kind of archetypes that I decided to put on the list, even though I said I wasn't going to really talk about that. But whatever, it's my list. Number 5. Okay, I can hear you guys now. What? Huragon's only number 5, but he's the best leader in the game. He's the Storm leader, and Storm's the best deck in the game. Like, why is he number 5? So, let's get into it real quick. So, his effect is, when this card attacks a leader card, you may choose one battle card from your hand and place it in your drop area. If you do so, draw 2 cards. And then it's an untap 2 energy. And then on the Awakened side, when this card attacks, draw 1 card. And if you have 4 or more energy, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and place it on top of the deck. So yeah, Huragon is pretty good, and I'm putting him number 5 because by himself he is great, but part of the reason he's so popular right now is just because of all the blue kind of support and for Storm, right? Because he can run Trunks, and then he also is really good with Hoy because Hoy lets you dig deeper and all that stuff. But by himself he doesn't do a whole lot. Like the Awakened side. In the most popular archetype that he's used in right now, you don't get to 4 energy. You win on turn 2, right? So this just is draw a card, right? And I think that's why he's great, but I don't think he is the best leader, right? I think he just enables the best deck right now. Does that make sense? And so I'm not Huragon's great, so don't think I'm personally attacking you for not putting him number 1. But I think in a vacuum he does very well, but the Awakened side is a little bit lackluster if you don't get to turn 4, and he's just a blue on tap 2 leader, right? And I think just because he's able to get some extra draws with Hoy and his front side, that people run for Storm, which I think is the right move, but I don't think he is in a vacuum the best. That's why I'm on number 5, and let's see what I think are the 4 better leaders than him. Number 4. All right, Janemba, the Dash Pack promo Janemba. So what this card is famous for starting the Mill Janemba archetype, and I think that's why I think he's really powerful. Let's go into it. So permanent, you can include cards with energy cost 5 or more in this deck. When this card attacks, draw 1 card and place 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck in the drop area. When your life is at 4 or less, untap 2. And then Relentless Speed Janemba. When this card attacks, draw 1 card and place 2 cards from your top of your opponent's deck into the drop area. And when this card is attacked, you may place 1 blue card from your hand to drop area. If you do so, negate the attack and negate the skill for duration of this game. So this card is super good, and by itself, it starts its own archetype, right? It is an archetype starting card, and that's why I think it's really good. You can't have Mill Janemba without this leader, and before this leader, there wasn't such thing as a mill deck either. So, yeah, he just enables a lot of things. He's blue, which is support card-wise is the best color in the game right now. And yeah, he's just, not only does he kind of say, oh, you should have this mill archetype, but he just supports it very well. And just also the his auto to negate an attack it just fits the archetype very well. And I keep forgetting, like, this, no one really talks about this effect as much, but I keep forgetting about it, and several times I'm like, oh, I'm going to attack for game, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to negate the attack. I'm like, oh, okay, shoot, okay, I totally misplayed, but yeah, I think this card's really powerful, and yeah, it's a great card. Number 3. We've got Universe 7 Frieza here. So he's a Warrior of Universe 7. And an active main, once per turn, you can place 1 Universe 7 from your hand to the drop area, draw 2 cards, which is crazy. And then when your life is 4 or less, untap 2. And on the backside, kind of the same thing, a Warrior of Universe 7, and then you place 1 Universe 7 from your hand to your drop area, draw 2. And then you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards to switch to rest mode. So this leader is really good at generating advantage, like super good. And big thing that I kind of differentiate it from the rest is that it's good at generating advantage without giving your opponent any advantage, right? Most of these cards on the front side, when they say to draw one, you have to attack into their leader, or like one of the burst 2 attack into one of their cards. But this card, you don't have to do that. You can just, as soon as turn 1, just discard a card, draw 2, which is awesome. Works really well in the Universe 7 decks, and then additionally the 2 big archetypes it has is the Victory Strike, of course, and also kind of the Emperor of Universe 7, and both of those just pair really well with not giving your opponent life advantage, because if they can't awaken, then you've got a Victory Strike coming and you can't activate your super combos, right? Or on the flip side, with the Emperor of Universe 7, that's the one that whenever they activate an auto, they have to take a life, and it's crit life too. So yeah, if you just have them at 7 life and then you drop that Universe 7 Frieza, none of those cards from their life are getting to their hand anymore, so it's still hand advantage. And then also, if they do activate super combos and stuff, they still have to take cards. So yeah, it's really powerful, and I think it was really oppressive at times. It's kind of been waning and waxing throughout the year, but I think this leader is really good, and as long as there's some Universe 7 support, I think this is definitely a card to always consider. So, great card. Number 2. Alright, we've got Hercule. Oh, wait. We've got Hercule here for the second best leader of this year. This is probably more biased than it should be, but I think this Hercule is really good, and let's see why. So active battle, and this is not once per turn. A lot of people, including myself, thought this was a once per turn thing, but no, this is active battle. So during this card's battle, there are cards in your combo area. Draw 1 card and negate the skill for duration of the battle. So every time this card is attacked, you can discard something and draw a card, which is on the surface you're kind of like, oh, then I don't get any card advantage, right? And then I have to defend myself anyways. So where's the generation come from? And it's mostly through like the pseudo super combos, and also like kind of like how the same thing that Pan does. You do the like double shot Super Saiyan Vegeta, so you get the card for 1 and defense, which is really good. Also, when you awaken, you draw 3, which is super good, especially in kind of a cell chain heavy metagame. You can recover a lot. And then the backside's the same thing, except for now he's at 10k. Ooh, he's strong as an unawakened announcer. But yeah, when this card attacks, draw 1, and then during this card's battle, if the card's in your combo area, draw 1 to get the skill for duration of the battle. If it's your opponent's turn and you can awaken, you can just do the wombo combo, is that you combo with something, draw 1, awaken, draw 3, and then activate the skill again to draw 1. So you just draw 5 cards in 1 turn, which is crazy. Just once again helps you so much for the kind of the cell matchup where you want to explosive draw your hand back, and just in general too. Just getting cards advantage for defending yourself is really good. And so I think it has a lot of different archetypes that this guy supported. When he first came out, he was probably the best leader until the last set came out, and definitely a favorite of mine. He's kind of fallen out a little bit since then, just because Milge Nimba wrecks him for sure, and some other archetypes. He can sometimes, Storm I would say is about a 50-50 matchup, but yeah, I think he's really good. And even for the future, if there's a deck that really needs card advantage, this is the leader to do it. So I think he's someone you should always be thinking about with the new cards coming out next year. Number 1. All right, here we go. Who saw this one coming? I don't think there's a, besides SS3 and Mecha Frieza, I don't think there's a candidate better than Dragon Ball. So what's this card do? This is definitely this is the weirdest one. But yeah, so permanent can't attack. That's weird, right? Active main switches card to rest mode. Choose up to 2 Dragon Balls from your deck or life. Add them to your hand. Shuffle any of the areas you look through, and then wish, the first and only wish leader on this top 10 list. When there are 7 Dragon Balls in your drop area, choose 1 desired card in your drop area, add it to your hand, flip this over, and then the active main still can attack. So you can either draw 1 card, choose 1 desired from your hand with energy costs equal or less to your current energy, and activate its activate main skill. Or the big boy one is remove all 7 Dragon Balls from your drop area from the game. If you do so, choose 1 of your battle cards. It gains plus 10k power and triple attack for duration of the turn, and then you flip it over if you somehow don't win this turn. So really good, and I think this is definitely one of my favorite cards, just because it kind of has what is it, legacy support, right? Kind of in the sense that it can make a lot of archetypes that were really good in general, but didn't have really a strong win condition. It just makes a win condition, right? This is probably the first leader that one of the best leaders, if not the first, to have a built-in win condition generically, right? Most leaders kind of have just like ways to get to a win condition, but this is the first leader that just is saying, hey, I have a win condition if you can get something big enough that you want to give triple attack to. So yeah, just really powerful. I feel like they set the bar really high for wish leaders, because this one is far and wide the best one, and then they spoil Paranga and they're like, oh, it's just a worse Shenron, right? And so I think it's going to be kind of really tricky to beat the power of this Shenron without power creeping too much. So it's going to be interesting what they make next year, but really good card, especially just for wish leader, right? You can easily awaken on turn 2 or 3, or sorry, wish on turn 2 or 3, just because of how great this is at generating advantage. So yeah, that's the list for today. Let me know what you guys think below. Let me know what ones I got wrong, which leaders I missed. Let me know if you do like these top 10 lists, because I could do another one. I've been thinking about doing one for just top 10 battle cards of this year, which should probably be more diverse because there are a lot more battle cards than leader cards. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe if you like the video. Subscribe if you didn't like the video. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.